Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the opening session of the International Leadership Conference of the Universal Peace Federation for North America. I am Dr. Franco Famularo, President of the UPF in Canada. The theme of this conference is Contemporary Challenges to World Order, the Search for Solutions. Simultaneous conferences are being held globally in all time zones in Africa, Asia, the Asia-Pacific region, Europe, the Middle East, Eurasia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. As the world transitions from the Atlantic century into the Pacific century, the dangers of greed and the misuse of power are as they have always been. People of faith and goodwill are needed to apply their energies to effect change that comes from peace rather than war, from giving rather than taking. We'd like to begin this morning with a video presentation of the recent activities of the Universal Peace Federation.
World Summit 2022 for Peace on the Korean Peninsula recently kicked off in Seoul with dozens of world leaders calling for an end to the Cold War's last remaining division, the Korean Peninsula. Prime Minister Hun Sen of the Royal Government of Cambodia said North and South Korea need to swiftly conclude a peace treaty and end the war. He said his own country was divided by war, but this ended 20 years ago thanks to the best choice of dialogue, stating, "We cannot choose war to end war." Some 160 nations are being represented during the three-day summit, running from February 11th to the 13th, and hosted by Universal Peace Federation co-founder Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, with co-chairs Prime Minister Hun Sen and former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
Peace on Korean Peninsula has a symbolic meaning for all of us because Cold War divided East Germany, West Germany, South Yemen, North Yemen, South Vietnam, North Vietnam. All the other nations reunited again. Today we have one Germany, one Yemen, one Vietnam. But Cold War is continuing only on Korean Peninsula. It is now time for a new era on Korean Peninsula.
Speakers addressed several hundred people attending in person, as well as a global virtual audience of millions of people participating through 3,500 broadcast networks around the world.
What we learned through this challenging time in my country and around the planet is that there's nothing that's impossible when nations work together for the common good. That said, the dream of a united Korea is possible.
We are all for peace. The question is, what are we prepared to do in order to make it possible?
The first summit with Kim Jong-un in June 2018 appeared to build on the sense of goodwill that negotiations between the South and North had achieved. But words are one thing. Real progress is quite another.
Many world leaders spoke to their own nation's history of peace building, including Senegal President Macky Sall, who is chairman of the African Union.
Elle ne s'offre pas comme une évidence par elle-même. Elle se cultive dans le jardin du courage, de la confiance et du dialogue.
We need collectively, all of us, to come together to champion the human rights of the people in North Korea. And you know what? We can do that peacefully, using every diplomatic channel available. A unified Korea would show the world that anything is possible.
Speakers highlighted challenges to peace, like resistance to denuclearization, foreign troops in South Korea, strained relations in the Asia-Pacific region, and core Korean differences in leadership and values.
The human race will move forward to safety, to prosperity, and to freedom only if good people take the time, show the courage, and get involved.
Summit speakers offered a range of solutions, including the encouragement of new friendships with the North Korean people through trade, tourism, and cultural exchanges. The annual summit, spearheaded by Dr. Moon and her late husband, Reverend Dr. Sung-myung Moon's vision of reunifying their homeland, has drawn the support of key leaders throughout the world and virtual audiences participating in numerous countries. The summit continues with more leaders slated to speak over the next 2 days.
Thank you for that video, which shows the scope and the breadth of the Universal Peace Federation's activities globally and recently. Our opening session includes pillars of the Global Universal Peace Federation and its affiliated association, and it is my pleasure to introduce each speaker. First, we have the Honorable Dan Burton, who was a member of Congress in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1983 till 2012. He is also the co-chair of the Universal Peace Federation's International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. Welcome, Congressman Burton. The floor is yours. Congressman Burton?
I think his video might have frozen.
All right, so let us go back to Congressman Burton once we fix the technical issue. Mrs. Moffat, shall we continue with the presentation by Dr. Chung Yong, who is the North American Regional President of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification.
Greetings to our distinguished guests and friends and brothers and sisters. This conference on the topic Contemporary Challenges to World Order, the Search for Solutions, is very timely. And furthermore, it is extremely important that principled men and women of good faith be in the forefront of helping shape the world. There is a much crisis in the world today, and many people are very afraid. We are right now witnessing a horrific war happening in Ukraine. People are suffering and dying. Many things are affected by this war. Oil and gas supplies are affected. Much of the world wheat feed is grown in Ukraine and Russia for other countries. So food supplies are affected, but God is very much alive. And God is still working in this world. Throughout history, good men and women, godly men and women find themselves in the position of the marching around Jericho, to allow good to prevail and evil to be defeated. The lesson of the collapse of Jericho is that good people must set condition for the hand of God to work. The world order is changing. It has always been changing. But these men and women acting in partnership with God that can determine whether the changes in the world order are good or evil. This is why men and women of faith must always work hard, be sacrificial, and never give up. We have one session in this conference called Values, Divide the World, where we will examine what we stand for and how that determines our actions. Father Moon and Mother Moon have both said in different ways that the best way to destroy an enemy is to make him your friend and eventually make him your family. Loving others, loving your enemies is the greatest value in peace building. There is also a session in this conference that deals with the search for solutions to environmental problems in our oceans, in our air, and on land. The people who will speak in this session are young, energetic, and idealistic. Also, they are not driven by political agendas, but are compelled first by the need to find actual workable solutions to environmental pollution. That's going to be an exciting discussion and look forward to it. And finally, we have a session entitled Faith Leaders Pray for Peace. Deep, sincere prayer is the key to success. The session of this international conference, leadership conference, may be the most important of all. May God bless the effort, Mother Moon, and the many people who are working with her, guided by heaven, to create this conference is a search of peaceful solutions and the creation of a heavenly world order. Thank you very much.
Chung Yong for giving us a great overview of what this webinar is about, and also for your insights. Now we'll go back to the person that was to be our original speaker, the Honorable Dan Burton, who is a member of Congress in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1983 to 2012, and is the international co-chair of UPF's International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. Congressman Burton, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, and it's nice to be with everybody today. I really appreciate the previous speaker's comments about loving your enemy, and that will solve many of the problems. But in addition to that, the free world needs to be ready and have the strength that's necessary to stop dictators who would try to take away other countries' freedoms, like we see right now in the Ukraine. I think somebody like President Putin of Russia,
I think that Mr. Burton's video has frozen. We'll try to come back to him. Congressman Burton, are you there?
I'm here, but it keeps cutting out. And
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get it to work.
Yeah, please continue. We can hear you now.
All right. Well, the thing is that dictators and those who are totalitarians, they only understand one thing, and that's strength. Ronald Reagan said when he was president that peace through strength is absolutely essential. And right now, I think many of the world leaders are not exhibiting the kind of strength that's necessary to let somebody like President Putin of Russia know what's going on, know that he can't push people around. Bullies in the schoolyard or in the world have to be met with strength. That doesn't mean you have to fight, but they have to know that you're ready, capable, and able to do what's necessary to stop their aggression. Now, Mother Moon has been going all over the world with conferences and meetings talking about world.
We're sorry for the technical difficulties. I apologize for the technical difficulties this morning. And perhaps Congressman Burton, you're back.
I'm here.
Okay.
We keep cutting out. Thomas Paine said that during the Revolutionary War, these are the times that try men's souls. And right now, today, we still are in times that are trying men's souls.
Very sorry about this. We'll have to continue with Congressman Burton's talk later. Let's try to fix the issue here. Thank you, Congressman Burton.